It's time for another installment of Steel Revolution
with Mike Nicholas, Roy Hutt, Brad Grieve, and Shawn Geisens.
There must be 50 ways to leave your lover. 50 ways to leave your lover. You just slip out the back, Jack. Make a new plan, Stan. You don't need to be coy, Roy.
Ready, Hutt?
You're ready? Yeah, well, welcome to Steel Revolution 52. We got both divas back.
This is a cluster.
And it's,
Yeah, that's $1.
I think it's official to say, guys, that Brad Grieve's no longer a guest. He's now a permanent fixture here.
And Weiner.
Okay. Whatever you say, Roy. Onward. What do we got for us today?
Hey. Today, whose show is this? Who's running this?
Apparently it's his now.
I guess. Yeah, Shawn. Well, then, everybody, welcome to Steel Revolution 52. I'm Roy Hutt.
I'm Mike Nicholas.
Brad Grieve.
Shawn Geisens over here.
Anyway, man, this is just, I just can't get anything rolling
something's
today.
wrong today.
It's just a little off. We'll bring it back together later. Let's hit the local news that we can get done here. Mike, Next Gen's showing a movie.
Yep. Fahrenheit 11/9. On February 27th, we are.
I thought you were going to stop there.
No. Doors will open at 6:30. The movie will start at 7. We're going to have some snacks and water available for you. Should be a good time. Again, it's on February 27th at 6:30.
And again, Union Night at the QC Storm, our new hockey team, March 1st. $2 beers, $2 hot dogs. Tickets are $12. Game starts at 7:10. Are you ready for contract? We wanted to remind you again, Steamwheeler tickets are on sale. They are at the hall. $10 a piece. Game starts at 3:05. Game is March 3rd. Again, talking about going off of last week, we spent some time talking about the new hire flyer that's out there in the plant, and that should have went out to everybody by now. If you haven't seen it, if you need stickers for the contract stickers for your hard hats, please let us know. We'll work with your committeeman, make sure that gets in front of you, and you can put those stickers on your hard hat. But like I said last week, I bet I can't go past 3 people without seeing one. More short sleeve contract t-shirts are in. And let's see, other than that, we just want to mention, haven't seen much from the oil bargaining. Of course, we mentioned that, I believe, last time also, but 11% raises over 3 years there is what our lead negotiator, Tom Conway, was able to secure our brothers and sisters in oil. So Tom seems to be on a roll and should continue through our negotiations. I'll look forward to that. Anybody can fill this dead air while I wasn't ready.
What weren't you ready for?
Yeah, so for our negotiation.
I'm ready now.
What the
Hold on, it's coming. Unless you're Arconic.
I give up. I'm done. I'm done today.
Off the recent news of another split, They are breaking up again. At least according to Yahoo. Says that. What I found out to be the best article was from Bloomberg yesterday, which totally predicted all of this. Which we'll share on the podcast's Facebook page here. But it says, Elliott hasn't had the magic touch at Arconic. It's much easier to be a spectator than a player, and that's true in sports and also in activist investing. Oh, I only have that, Mike. I only have this stuff.
Thanks.
So you can feel free to chime in with whatever you can think of. So the hedge fund had hand-picked at least 7 of the 13 board members, and then, of course, the sale did not go through, and now we are on our, is it the 3rd CEO in 3 years?
3 years.
New CEO is John Plant. He was added to the Alcoa board in a pack with Elliott. And new COO Elmer Dottie, which was a Elliott nominee back in May of 2017. The report from Bloomberg, or the article, goes on to say, to put it mildly, this is messy and bizarre. Blankenship's ouster comes just 2 days before the company's scheduled earning report, which was today. Further, at the end of their article, taking all these facts together leads me to question whether the update on the strategic review that Arconic intends to give Friday with its earnings release will focus on a breakup. They also said a partial deal is smaller, less risky bite for a private equity firm as fears mount about cooling economic growth, and it would give Elliott one last shot to prove it the operational improvements it envisioned at Arconic are actually achievable. Again, that's the $30-some or more a share that we brought up last podcast. So shakeups happening there. Again, if you're wondering about the contract and what happens if you're sold or whatnot, again, you can review or re-listen to podcast 47, which we talk about successorship language that's in our contract with our new member of the podcast, Brad Grieve, and staff rep Jeff Hartford. Anybody else want to add anything?
No, I think you got it. Go ahead, Brad.
Yeah, just, I don't know, kind of going backwards to the contract, and maybe we'll talk about it some more, but we do have a meeting scheduled with Tom Conway in Pittsburgh on February 19th. So I was in the middle of booking my flights, which I've got complete now, and I'll be out there. We'll meet with Tom Conway, I think, in the morning, and then travel on Monday and travel home on Wednesday. So Tuesday there'll be a meeting that's possible, a meeting with the company also, just to get some ground rules established and see where we're at.
Stop clicking your pen. It's bad radio. Anyway. Again, something that we brought up before, March, we'll start our local issues here. So we'll be in contact and spreading messages and getting the info out to everybody.
Yep.
Well, should we take a break and get ready for your big interview, Mike? Or
Yeah, let's
do we have
take
a little break?
Let's take a break.
All right.
Don't forget to follow Steel Revolution on Facebook, Apple Podcast, Podcast Addict, iHeartRadio, Libsyn.com, and USW Local 105's website. Search for Steel Revolution.
Joining us on the podcast is Dave Roose, president of USW Local 5114. Thanks for taking the time to join us, Dave.
Thank you for asking me.
We always like to start our interviews by getting to know our guests, so can you give us a little history, how you got into the union, what you do?
Yes, I actually got into the United Steelworkers Union in 1975 when I went to work for Sunshine Mining Company. I've been involved with them ever since. Currently employed or on strike against Hecla Mining Company. We're hard rock mining out here. in the Northwest. This is mining for silver, lead, and zinc.
Okay. So,
And like I said, I've been actively involved with the steelworkers since 1975. Served various positions when I was at Sunshine. The last position I held there before the company folded was the chief shop steward. And then, off and on different jobs, but I've always been in mining. I was a member of the operating engineers out of Nevada for a while. And for Newmont, a gold mining company, and now I'm up at Hecla, and now I'm currently the president of our local.
okay, how long have you been the president?
I have been in the position for 2 years, but I've been serving the position. I was actually elected a year ago.
Okay. So, can you give us an idea of the size of your local and what type of work your membership does?
We are a small local of about 250 members. We are an underground hard rock mine. And when I say underground hard rock, like I said, it's with silver, lead, and zinc. We currently mine around the 6,000 to 6,500 foot level underground.
Okay. So these current negotiations, when did they begin with Hecla? And can you?
We actually began negotiations with Hecla in March of 2016. We negotiated for a year because our contract expired in 2016. We worked for a year without a contract, just a rolling gentleman's agreement that we worked under our old contract. So we negotiated for a year before they ever implemented what they call their final proposal.
Okay. So are you guys a standalone contract, or is this a master of some sorts?
No, we are a standalone contract. We are an amalgamated union with another mining company that's right down the road from us.
Okay.
Galena mine, but we both have our own standalone contracts.
Okay. What have been the main issues so far in your negotiations?
The main issue is a couple of them is Hecla wants to take away all of our seniority rights. They want to be able to appoint miners, skilled people into whatever positions they want to put them in at whatever time for whatever rate of pay. They don't want any bidding systems, so seniority wouldn't count for anything. That, and they want to force us to work holidays. They also want to drastically reduce our health care with us paying a percentage, which we don't have a problem paying a percentage, but in their proposal, after 3 years, they want to have an open-ended what they charge us. So we have no idea what we do. We may even be paying 100% by the time.
Wow.
If we had longer than a 3-year agreement. Those are 3 of our big ones.
Yeah, those are definitely big ones.
Yeah, well, and the seniority one, the reason why we have the bid system we have, and it's called a team miner system, where you have a senior man picks his partners and his crews, and the conditions here in this ground are very unstable.
Okay.
We're constantly having seismic events, rock bursts, if you will. The people have been killed, seriously injured, so it's very important that you be able to work with people you trust, that are knowledgeable, that are good workers, that have got your back all the time.
Yep.
It's a safety issue, and the company wants to take that away from us. They want to be able to, like I said, throw whoever they want, wherever they want, when they want, for what rate of pay they want to pay them on that particular day.
Wow. Yeah, we see that kind of sort of thing here. They want to call it flexibility. They want the flexibility to put people where they want.
Right. They've called it a progression system. Same thing.
Nice.
Just different language, but
Yep.
yeah, same thing.
Yep. So what's their approach to negotiations? I mean,
Their approach to negotiations, and they started from the very first day, that they gave us a proposal that was totally concessionary across the board. From day one until even right now as we speak, their proposal is they want everything or nothing. So basically, they have not even been willing to negotiate. They just tell us, there's our proposal, that's what we want.
how often are you at the table right now?
Right now we haven't been at the table for quite some time. And we have come up with every hybrid proposal, even including parts of their system. Their proposed progression system. We've included that in offers. They frankly don't even look at them. We hand them to them. They recess for a minute and come back and say, nope, we're not interested. Get a hold of us when you've got something different. So it's very frustrating. There's absolutely, the word negotiate does not even fit into their vocabulary. And they have flat out told us over and over, it's all or nothing, guys.
Wow.
So yeah. So we feel that we have been locked out. In fact, I did question their Hecla's negotiating committee if it was considered a lockout. And of course, they got very angry and frustrated. No, by God, it's a strike. But it basically is a lockout without legally saying it.
Mm-hmm.
Because, yeah, they refused to negotiate with us.
Yep.
And we've all, we're racking our brains. We've got lawyers from Pittsburgh that have come out, different people. And you're just totally regardless of whatever proposal we come up with, they just ignore it. They're not interested.
Hey, Dave, this is Roy. I had a question for you here. Is the company profitable? I mean, usually you see some concessionary and those cry that they're losing money, but are they profitable then?
The company is very profitable, and they have been very profitable. They have told us that this is a marginal operation they have up here. However, they've issued since 2010 profit sharing checks that were either matched or were beyond what your hourly wage was.
Oh, wow.
So they've been very profitable. The CEO makes over $7 million a year in bonuses and whatnot. So yeah, they are a very profitable company.
So
their big thing and they've always said that this is not a financial issue. It's a control issue. They want to be able to control, like I said, what miners work where and with whom, what shift and what they're getting paid. They don't care for the fact that seniority means something to us.
wow. So how are your members doing since they've been out this long?
We've gone through periods of frustration, anxiousness, somewhat close to panic. And, by now all of our members are dug in. We just did a survey here a month ago on, if our members, has their needs changed, has our priorities changed? And almost to a man that we talked to said, no, if anything, we should not only get what we asked for at the beginning, but more. So everybody's dug in good. We have some very strong resolve here.
Good. So then what about the company or the community? Is their support pretty good for you?
The community has been almost to a person behind us. There's a few that tell you guys should just take whatever they offer and go back to work. But by and large, the community is very much so behind us. We consist of an area here of a lot of small towns that kind of run together. You go from one to another, and invariably, almost every business has a sign in their window. We support the Lucky Friday Miners. So yes, we have got enormous community support.
And have they tried to replace your members?
Oh, they have tried. They've brought in some people, and of course they tag the label salary on them. They make them salary people. Mm-hmm. So you know how this goes. By and large, it's either people that can't find a job anywhere else. There's some of our former fellow employees that have crossed our picket line and become scabs. But for most of the workforce, no, they have not been able to replace us. Like I said, they brought in some salary people, paid them salary on that, but no, they have not been able to replace all of us.
Okay. Well, I did a little digging. Do you want to talk a little bit about your event you're having in March?
In March, we are doing a recognition rally of 2 years of solidarity. And March 16th. As of March 13th, it will be our 2-year anniversary of going out on strike. So we're doing on the 16th, and we are having quite a few different guest speakers. I'm actually trying to wrangle a few guys out of Pittsburgh to come out. and talk to us. And as we did last year, we will march from our union hall down to the picket line, which is about a mile, 3/4 to a mile away from us, with a big rally and chanting. And we're going to have hopefully a live band here and feed everybody, feed them some barbecue, and try to set in for another year if need be.
Good. So, if there's anything any other unions can do to help show solidarity with you guys, what can we do?
Well, as the cliche goes, money's always nice to help shore up, the resources. We operate our own food pantry for our members, and we do have, we've got gas cards available to our members and that. But, we try to pay bills and whatnot, but finances are tight. We've got a lot of locals around the Northwest here that support us monthly with checks. And, if nothing else, just show us some solidarity.
Okay.
Give us a big shout out every chance you get, and, let us know that we're not alone. We know we're not, but some of the members like to hear that from other locals, that we aren't alone.
Well, I'll tell you how you guys came to be on our show. We started about mid-year, I don't know, maybe early. It's a swear jar, and I'm the one that has the problem pretty much on our show with it. So anytime I drop an F-bomb, I got to throw $1 in a jar. And I will tell you, Dave, we have had people from the three of us here on the show all the way up to Leo Gerard end up dropping F-bombs on our show. So what we decided was, not sure if you know who John Lepley is. He works for the International. We decided to let him decide where our money was going. And so this year, well, for 2018, our money's going to you guys. It is.
God bless you.
It's not much. It's $175, but we will be sending $175 your way.
So have you ever got Vince Clark on your show?
We do. We have not, but we can sure try.
Get Vince on there, and I guarantee you're going to fill that jar. If you're paying on F-bombs, my buddy Vince Clark, and just if you would like, just tell him roll tide, baby, and the F-bombs will start.
Great. Well, we will try that. So,
that's amazing, guys. That's awesome.
Yeah, and I'll be in contact with you here shortly to get the address so we can send the money out. But it's our pleasure to send it to you. So, is there anything else you'd like our members, our listeners, to know?
One thing I can't stress enough is solidarity. That is what has held us together. That's what keeps us together, keeps us going. We support each other and just stay solid. No matter what the circumstances, stay solid. And don't be afraid to stand up and fight back.
Well, great. Well, I hope you don't mind if we stay in contact, and hopefully maybe around your event, maybe we'll interview you again, and hopefully when you get back to work, we'll interview you again if you don't mind.
I would thoroughly enjoy that, and I would feel very honored, sir.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us today. We appreciate it, and I'll be sending our money your way.
Thank you so much.
Have a good day, Dave.
God bless you. Solidarity, brother.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Coming back after a great interview by Mike.
Awesome. No F-bombs.
Grieve was out twiddling his thumbs, so he's back.
Grieve was out booking his room for his Pittsburgh trip for the contract. All done.
Okay.
Good story.
So it's February, which means it's tax season. And according to some articles out there, some of the middle class might be seeing more taxes. So the new tax code, of course, eliminated some of the deductions that middle class families had, and people are going to Twitter and making comments like 2017 taxes, $5,408 refund, unchanged salary, unchanged withholding, 2018 $440 owed to the IRS. That person goes on further to say, I'm middle class, single, with a $83,000 some odd dollar income. Other people last year got a refund. This year, unchanged salary, I owe $1,300. I'm middle class. Another person, thank you for screwing the middle class with your tax reform. I have never in my life, I'm 49 years old, had to pay into the IRS until this year. They have a combined income of $150,000. The middle class voted for you, and I will not make the same mistake twice. So, anyway, I'm interested to get mine back now.
Yeah, me too. I think this is only the beginning.
Yeah, I think they took less deductions out of the payroll system, but at the end of the year, that's why people thought they got a break, and then, oh, hey, by the way,
Here
new
it comes.
year, here
Right,
it is.
right in the back door.
Oh, but you know who didn't take it in the back door? Banks.
That's right.
They seem to have shaved $21 billion from their tax bills last year. So the effective tax rate fell below 19%, and it was roughly 28% they paid. So them, along with corporations, seeing big tax breaks, and of course I'm still waiting for my tax break, or for that to trickle down from.
Just keep waiting; it'll come.
No, never know. There's changes coming, Mike. You never know. Maybe they'll change their mind about that.
You're full of shit if you believe it.
On good news, if you can, so I always like to, if Trump does something good, mention it on here. January 31st, President Trump signed an executive order Thursday that encourages people to prioritize using American-made steel in infrastructure projects. The new order closes gaps by also encouraging those receiving indirect assistance for infrastructure projects to use U.S.-made goods. Though it's not mandated and does not include any sort of enforcement or any specific targets. So it looks good on paper, but there's no teeth there. In other news, $15 minimum wage. New Jersey became the latest state to boost the minimum wage, $15 an hour. Governor Phil Murphy signed into law a measure phasing in the higher rate over 5 years. Illinois is working on that.
Yep.
So, but current states that have that: California, Massachusetts, New York, and the District of Columbia. And according to some people, Illinois is going to go down the hill as soon as they sign it. But yet, California, Massachusetts, New York, and the District of Columbia seem to be doing just fine.
A lot of these arguments about kids not needing $15 an hour, people need to really look at who's working those jobs, and that everybody that is out there working a full-time job to make a living ought to be making a living wage. And I think that's what JB said over in Illinois, and we've agreed with that. It puts a better base under us as we negotiate wages. So got to look at the whole picture. I think it's a good thing that we got people taking care of the wage thing.
And the minimum wage earners aren't kids. The average age is, we just looked it up, 36 years old. So it's not high school kids.
So speaking of states, then, Brad, you were in Des Moines. You share a little bit about what you're doing out there and the things you learned.
Yeah, our delegates from Local 105, along with delegates from across the state, attended the Iowa AFL-CIO Legislative Conference Monday and Tuesday. So what we do there, there's some education, trying to keep up on the issues, keeping the Labor Center in front of us, the threat to shut that down. Currently working on a long-term budget, making some progress there, but we all need to continue to contact the University of Iowa president and let him know that we need our Labor Center, along with our legislators in the state. Still a concern out there about IPERs. Republican legislators tell us, the governor says they're not going to do anything, but there's not a lot of trust there. They said the same thing with public sector bargaining 2 sessions ago.
I'm sure it'll be just a tweak.
Right, that's what we're afraid of, and IPERS is in better shape than all other pension plans that we know of. There's really no reason to touch it other than for corporations to get their fingers into the money and use it for their self instead of us. So the people, not us, the people that paid into it. So again, a reminder, there's Mike Owen from the Iowa Policy Project. There's a lot of good bipartisan information there. They do their research. Their numbers are good. So if you can look online and search for IPP or Iowa Policy Project, a lot of good information out there, along with, we heard from Matt Sinovich from Progress Iowa. A lot of good information there around legislative issues in the state and legislative forums. Also worked on some with our AFL-CIO, how we, our WIN committees, which is Working Iowa Neighbors, trying to recruit candidates and putting on some classes for candidate education and make that part of the endorsement process to where we have candidates come to us, learn about our working people issues, and then that would be one piece of the endorsement process.
I'll say when you were out there, I don't know if you talked about this or not, but I did want to bring it up that they're going back after now. Of course, the same people that have control now are the same people that went after public sector unions, went after the work comp bill. Now they're focused on workers' unemployment, and from what I read, now you guys that read it could, tell me if I'm wrong, but it's all about keeping 1 week of pay away from them for their unemployment benefits. That's what it looks like to me.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's we got the information here. I mean, it's a bill that would radically change benefits for workers that find themselves unemployed for no fault of their own. They get laid off or whatever. It'll eliminate 1 week of unemployment unless you are unemployed for 6 months. So I think that's a target on the trades groups that may be off for a couple months in the wintertime.
Yep.
So they're going after them there. And it cuts benefits to employees by 33% when a business decides to close, cutting their, from 39 possible weeks of unemployment down to 26. There's things in there that talk about, I guess they don't trust people doing their work searches, and they're making that more difficult for people. So yeah, it's learn more about that. Look on the Iowa Fed website. We can print some things in the Forerunner here coming up, but more information on that out there.
Oh, I didn't know that. So if my employer is the main employer in a small town or a smaller area, and they close, then I get less benefits.
Yeah.
Might be harder for me to find a job, or I have to move, or I probably would need the longer time, but I don't get it. So it's all about taking money away from workers when they need it. Okay.
And then there's another issue in if you find your representative on the iowa.gov site, you can sign up for their newsletters. Norland Momsen is one of my representative in the House, and I get his email newsletter. And he's part of one of the other issues that we saw is this judge nominating process, and they're trying to politicize that instead of having the people appointed. We have attorneys and people that present cases in front of these judges that would know them. Plus, we have some lay people that are on that committee. The governor does get to appoint 8. And so anyway, there's been a process. I think it was around 1962 that this was put in place, and it's been working just fine. But in order to politicize things, and since they're in control, they want to go after that now. So that's another one to contact your representatives on, and it's a House bill at this point in time. So like we've said at all of our business meetings, the elections are over. The people we got are out there, and we need to be calling them. We need to be going to the legislative forums and let them know what we think. In the Senate, they also pushed something where we used to be able to, they'd let us know, and we had a couple days for public comment. They've pretty much shut that down. To me, that's not the way you govern in a democracy. It should be open to public comment and why are you making these changes, and they should be able to explain it, but they don't. They've got an agenda with Alec and some others, the Koch brothers, and they just move forward. They don't care what anybody thinks in the state of Iowa.
Thanks, Brad.
You're welcome, Mike.
We appreciate everything you do.
Hey, I was out there with 6 other delegates from the locals, so we all are in this together, and
I agree.
we'll have to get some of them on here one of these days.
Agreed.
Some of them's been on.
Yes, some of them have.
Some of them have.
What else you got, Roy?
Well, you can't go to the Steamwheelers game. You can't go to the Storm game. You just can't do nothing without drinking.
Yep.
So in news about drinking, workers at San Francisco's Anchor Brewing Company have announced a drive to gain union recognition. So they are looking to become members of the International Longshoremen Warehouse Workers Union. So we'll see if those guys in San Francisco, see if they have any luck, and maybe we'll
Looks like it's going to happen.
track down an interview with those
that'd
guys.
be nice. That'd be nice.
So let me see here. The Iowa Fed did not bring out anything in labor history today. So today in labor or Lepley history,
There we go, mentioning him again.
John posted on his Facebook page that according to legend, when the Steelworkers Organizing Committee negotiated its first contract with Carnegie Illinois Steel back in 1937, company officials removed a portrait of Henry Clay Frick from the room where the agreement was signed because they did not think he could stand it.
That's awesome.
John says little tidbits like that keep him going.
Thanks, John.
Thanks, John. And some housekeeping that we haven't done. Again, back when John was on here, he recommended 2 books. One being Labor's Untold Story, the adventure story of the battles, betrayals, and victories of American men and women. That was by Richard O. Boyer and Herbert M. Morales. And also A People's History of the United States, 1492 to the present, by Howard Zinn. And I will be putting up, before the podcast link goes up, I'll be sending a link to the Blomberg article. That's a day late, but if you know today's limited news about Arconic, this foreshadowed it. I'm seeing the more and more articles I read by Blomberg, it seems to be they're pretty much on point.
Yep.
So I'll put that on, and then I'll put links to these 2 books because we needed to get that done.
If I may,
I don't like this.
I need to correct you on something.
Okay.
Labor's Untold Story, the adventure story of the battles, betrayals, and victories of American working men and women.
Thanks, Shawn.
Thank you. So that brings us to the end.
That brings us to the end. Greaves playing on his phone.
Just double checking my confirmation, make sure I got a room when I go to Pittsburgh, Roy.
Yeah. Give him what? Yeah. I was going to say what some people were saying, but I think I'll leave that. I'll leave that alone. They said, in a nutshell, we deserve a fair contract, and to make sure everybody knows that. So.
Yep, that's fair.
I'm sure Grieve
will take that message with him.
will take that message to Pittsburgh.
Yep.
So, Roy, did you tell everybody we got stickers for their cars coming?
No, we didn't.
I didn't.
We do. We have stickers for the cars. Should be here within the next 10 days. Nice big oval stickers to put on your bumper or your window.
And we're getting some posters made for out there in the plant.
Yeah.
In the break rooms.
More information to come soon.
Yep, you heard it from Mike's interview. Solidarity is key. And I know Leo put that in his statement from oil bargaining. Solidarity was key for those guys getting what they wanted. So make sure you guys are showing that in the plant every day to your T-shirts. Red on Friday.
Blue on Wednesday.
Yep, stickers on the hard hats. Mike.
Roy.
Where can they find us? Shawn doesn't have a mic yet.
Where can they find us?
Yeah.
Why would you give me that one?
Oh man, he's really broke up. Never mind. Shawn, where can they find us?
Shawn, where can they find us? You need to say
Come on.
this part.
Look at him.
I'll
Look
share
at him.
my mic with
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Facebook, Apple, I already. I'm so yeah.
You had me change that.
I did. That's what threw me off. Facebook, Apple Podcasts, Podcast Addict, iHeartRadio, Libsyn, Locals website, and Men's Restroom.
Yeah, I know what you were gonna say.
Threw me off.
Anything good
Yep. Don't forget to say something good about your union.
every day.
All right. Till 53.
See you later, guys.
The opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the individuals and do not reflect any official view of the United Steelworkers, USW Local 105, or its officers or sub-board members for officers.